Okay, so the recording has started now. So I said that
Alright,
yesterday
sir.
we stopped at count A, and I said the count A function has the following syntax: equal to count A value 1 value 2. So the count A function counts cells containing any type of information, including error values and empty text. So if, for example, you are working on something on and it returns an empty text on a cell, that will be counted. But it's different from empty cell, but it will not count empty cells. So for example, if you look at this column here, you see that this column has values in cell B2, B3, but B4 and B5 are completely empty, while B6 and B7 has values. So if you apply this formula, you can see that the system will just count only the cells that have values inside. So the formula here is count A. The range of the cell is from B2 to B7. So if you apply the same thing here, if I apply the same thing here, what do you think will be the answer? So here I will type equal to count A.
A,
The range is what?
C,
C,
C2
C,
to C7.
C2
2
to
to
C7.
C7. Yes,
Count,
sir.
count A. So the system counts and tells us that the answer is 5. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're showing you this feature, this function. So now where do we apply this? We'll see as we're getting on. So if you want to count the number of cells, now it's small here. If this table is small, you can easily see the cells that doesn't have. But if you're working with a very large data, all what you need to do is the range of the cell. Huh? Okay, let's assume that maybe you went out for a research work and values were entered, and there's a particular column that was given a condition that it shouldn't be empty. Huh? So there are some columns that are possibly because if you want to use it for analysis, it's very important. For example, things like phone number, maybe you want to, or things like gender. If it's going to be a sex disaggregated data, do you know what that means?
It will depend on the sex of the
Yes,
people.
sex disaggregated data. Maybe in politics, for example, the last election we had, you really want to know the number of female that took part in the election, or the number of female that are in different elective positions and all that. So you can see that that column gender becomes very important. So you wouldn't want any entry. You wouldn't want any entry to have an empty space under gender. Do you understand what I mean? Or it's
Yes,
going to
sir.
distort the total analysis at the end of the day. Are you getting it?
I'm good, sir.
So in that way, you can just quickly run a count A to see if there's any empty space on the column gender. And if there's an empty space, then you have to find why it's empty and get it fixed so that you can have proper data analysis. So count A is a function that enables you to count all the empty spaces you may have within a cell. So in the process of entering data, so many things could happen. Maybe from the point of, it could even be from the development part. Now we have a course on developing forms to gather data. If I send you a video, I don't know whether you were able to listen to it. One of the ways to capture all this data, where are the point of analysis? Just like what you told me about your office, you were given data to analyze. What happens if you are to create a platform to even to capture this data in the first place before the analysis? So in that way, start looking at things like either you can develop the form from scratch or you use Google Form. I did a video, if you recall, the initial table of content that I sent to you. I attached a video for how to develop a Google Form. So a Google Form can help you to capture data from wherever And once you capture this data, then you export it to Excel and you analyze it. So we have a course on that as we're getting on. So this helps us to identify space here. So I can move ahead from here.
Yes, sir.
So I move to if, the if function. So the if function, what it basically does is to it's like a conditional function. If this case is true, return 1 or 0. Return 1 if it's true, or return 0 if it's off. If a condition is true, return 1 if it's true, or return 0. So the if function is, the syntax is equal to if logical test, which is like the criteria or the condition you want to test, then the value if it's true 1, if it's false 0. So we could use if to make Excel conduct a different computation or show a different value based on the result of the logical test. So here, so this is the example of the formula that I'm using here. So now looking at this, we have this table in this range, and here I created the if column, and here I have 0. So what am I saying here? If you look at the formula bar, what that cell is conditioned to perform an if function, and the if function if cell B2 is greater than 50, then return 1 if it's true, or return 0. So what is cells B2? I just click on B2, the system is taking me to 49. 49 is not greater than 50. Therefore, it will going to return 0 as false. But what happens if I change this greater than to less than? If cells B2 is less than that, so you can see the result returns 1. That means it's true. You can see that?
Yes, sir.
So that's what the if function does. So I'm moving to if error. So if error is similar to if function, but what it does is that instead of just returning 1 or 0, it could represent that error report in a different way. So we'll just pick up an example. So here we said, okay, find boy in cell A2. If it's present, return 1, but if it's not present, you return not present. So let's see what happens. So it said find the function is equal to if error value if error occurs. We could display a more informative error than Excel does, or even execute an alternative computation by using if error. Two things are required for the if error functions to work: what value should be checked for an error, and what action should be taken. So let's look at this one now. So we start equal to if error, find boy in A2. Now we have, this is A1, this is A2. Are you seeing that?
It is not A here.
This is A1.
It's B1, B2.
This is A2.
Okay, I was thinking it's a B.
Oh, sorry. What am I doing? I was looking at this. So this is A. This is A1 and this is A2. Now, in this A2, is there any word like boy here?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So if we have that, then the system will return a word to tell us it's positive. Yes, it's true. If not, it will tell us it's not present. So look at this here. So now the system returns 9. If present, count from, so how did we get this 9? If present, count from left to where B start, and that will give you 9. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, including the space. So that means this word boy, if you are counting from left, start from the 9th position. But look at this other one now. This one is saying find, let's say Coca-Cola. Find Coca-Cola. Find Coca-Cola. Find cola in A5. So this is A5. Now that is not present. So what do you have? The system is telling us this is not present. So now, assuming that we had something like maths 8, let's use that word. mat 8, and we're still telling it to find 8 in cell A5. What do you think the result will look like?
The result will look like 1, 2, 3, 4. The result will be 4.
The beginning of 8, where 8 start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay,
5. You can see it there. Just at the point that you have the beginning of 8 is 5. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's why it returns 5 there. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, find search. So find search. You can find a particular word and you can also search. The difference between the two is that they perform the same thing, but the first one is case sensitive while the second one is not case sensitive. So if you have, for example, so if you are looking for maths, if you use this formula, find maths, if you don't have exactly maths the way it is in the sentence case, it will return an error.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm trying to type it out. If you don't have exactly math, it will return an error. But in order to take care of any possibility of the way it is displayed, you can use search. So search can take something like this, and you can also search for something like this. So search does a broader search than just find. So let me read here. Find delivers an error value if the text cannot be located. However, a search for bigger will return results for bigger or small letter bigger, broadening the scope of the query. So let's look at an example. So we're here. So I have find and search. So here I'm clicking on 1. So what is 1 here? The formula is find maths in A5. In A5 we have maths. The system returns 1. Okay, so let's confirm what I said. If this M starts with a small letter, are you seeing? If I press enter, the system said no, it's not there. But if I now turn it to search, if I turn it to search and press enter, the system says it's there. Then if I now turn it to capital M, that is small m. If I turn it to capital M, the system still tells me. So that's the difference between the two. I hope that's clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay, left, right. Now the left, right, what it does basically is to, if you have, for example, the way we normally write phone number, we start by writing maybe the country code. The country code before the phone number. Like Nigeria is 234. A place like United States is +1. Then others have their code. So for some reason you may want to retrieve special code that is associated with either a number, to classify it somewhere. So you can use things like left or right function to do that. So the difference is that the left and right function are simple and efficient way of retrieving static data from cells, while the right function returns the X number of characters from the cells end, while left returns the X number of characters from the cell's beginning. So the right returns the X number of characters from the cell's end. So from the end, that is the far right, it returns and gives you the number of characters. But for the left, at the beginning stage, it returns the number of characters that you have there. So in the sample below, the customer area code is extracted from the phone number using left, while the last 4 digits are extracted using. So for some reason, you can have hundreds of phone calls and you say, okay, let's retrieve the last 4 digits. Do you understand what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Let's retrieve the last 4 digits. So what do you use? You use right to do that. So let's see some example here. So here, look at this function. Here I have left A26. This is A2. So we're saying count 6 characters from A2 and return it here. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's why you have this here. That's from the left. This one too, the same thing. It counts space. Count A, 5, 6. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's why you have match C. But for the right, let's assume that I have a phone number. Like, let's change this to 080 3514 2552. That's my phone number. So how do I retrieve the last four numbers from here? So what do? I'll come here and say, what do I say? How do I retrieve the last four number from here? So I use right, C2, C2, and what should be here?
4 or 5.
So if I say 4, it takes the last one. I mean, you can see how it is. So it has returned the last 4 characters here. So that's how that works. That's how the left and right works. Then rank. Rank, you can rank something in order of ascending, the position it is in order of ascending or descending. If you have maybe the student who wrote exams and they all have a score in different exams that they wrote, then after adding up everything, you can now rank them in terms of the first position, the third position, second, third, fourth, and fifth, and the rest of them. You can do that in ascending, and you can also do that in descending. So the rank enables you to know the position of these numbers either in ascending or descending order. So rank, we have number, reference, and the order. The rank function is a quick way to show how values in a data set rank in ascending 1 or descending 0 order. It's a quick way to show how values in a data set rank in ascending 1 or descending order. So let's look at this. So rank B2. Now, what is B2 here? This is B2. B2 is 75. So in the range of B2 to B5, 0. Now 0 is what? Is it ascending or descending?
Descending.
Descending. So if you rearrange this and check the position of 72, what do you think will be the position? So let's rearrange it. What is the lowest number? 65? 70?
65, yes.
70?
Yes.
75? Then 80. Is it not? This is in ascending order.
Yes, so.
Then in descending order, what do you think we'll have? The opposite. So you have 80,
80,
75, 70, and 65. So now we're told to do this in descending order and rank B2. So B2 here is 75. So what is the position of 75 here? In descending order. What's the position of 75 in descending order? 2. So that's how we got this 2. You can see it. Yeah. So what is the position of 75 in ascending order? 1, 2, and 3. That's how we got 3 here. So instead of arranging it, so imagine that you have thousands of data. All what you need to do is know the range. Once you know the range and you pick up your number, the system will automatically work it out for you, either descending or ascending order. That's clear. Is that clear? Yes, so VLOOKUP. So VLOOKUP is a case where you have more than one table. So if you have one table, you have another table, and V means vertical lookup. And you are looking at a particular number, and inside this number, you want to find the corresponding number in another table in a particular column. So let's look at its opposite to HLOOKUP. So let's look at this. For example, the syntax for VLOOKUP is VLOOKUP lookup value. What value do you want to look up? Then what is a table array? What is a column index number and the range lookup. So let's see the definition. The acronym VLOOKUP stands for vertical lookup. It is a function that tells Excel to look for a specific value in a column to return a value from another column in the same row. So we are looking at the same row, but we are telling the system to look for a specific value in another column, but return a value that is associated with it in the same row. So take for instance, now we have 12 here. Where else do we have 12? Here. So if you are returning any value from that table, it will fall within this row. So this is column 1. This is column 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So as far as our reference number is 12, whatever we are going to return will fall within here when we call up the column based on the column number. So let's see how the formula is applied. So here we are saying look for the number 12. Huh? Are you there? We have 12 here.
Yes, sir.
Within this range, F3, between F3 and F14. In column 2, this is the second column. In column 2, find what is associated with 12 in column 2. And false means return the exact value. False here means return the exact value. So let's see the interpretation of what we have here. Let's see the interpretation of this command. VLOOKUP is used with the following step. 1. Set the value that is entered in cell A4 or the number that is entered as 12. Cell F14 is 12. So select the value that is entered in cell A14. 2. Select the range of entire table F2, F14, which is that. Then select the corresponding output from column 2 because 2 was specifically mentioned here. So this is column 1, this is column 2. So the corresponding value after 12 on the same row is marked. And false means requires an exact name match, exactly the match for that. So what it does basically is once you've known the value and you are given a range of cells, then and the number of the column you are supposed to work with, then you are supposed to return a corresponding number that corresponds with the value that you are looking for. That's what VLOOKUP does. How is it applied? You will see how we are getting on. But the horizontal lookup is the opposite. Now look at this. The horizontal lookup, HLOOKUP, stands for horizontal lookup, and it can be used to retrieve information from a table by searching a row for the matching data and outputting from the corresponding column. While VLOOKUP matches for the value in a column, HLOOKUP searches for the value in a row because H is horizontal lookup. The formula for horizontal lookup is value to look up for table area and row number. So this is an example of what we have. So let's see how this was applied. So here we got 68 here. 68 came from this formula. Are you still there?
Yes, sir.
So these are the heading. We have A, B, C, D, E, and F. So looking at this formula here, we said look up for B, which is this. So we're looking at this particular column heading. The range is B1 to A5. What is B1 to A5? B1 to A5 is this. So we started by saying we're looking at column B. Value to look up is B. Then we're going to look for it within this cell. And here we're saying we should look at this on the fourth row. So this is row 1, 2, 3, and 4. Huh? Are you saying that?
Yes, sir.
So again, this is the area that we are covering. The value we're looking for is B, and we're saying look for a corresponding value that is within this column on the fourth row. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the value is 68, because 68 is in the same column with B. And return the exact value. That's how we got 68. Did you see that?
Yes, sir. So this one is technical. I need to go through it again to understand.
Okay, let's do another example. Now look at this. We have a column heading here, CA.
Yes, sir.
Have you seen CA?
Yes, sir.
Okay, CA. This is the range. We have CA, and what we are saying here is that within this range, look for a value within this CA column on the second row, which is 1 and 2. 1 and 2. So the value is 70, and we are told to return exactly that same value. So VLOOKUP searches for a value in a column, while HLOOKUP searches for a value in a row. So when you go through it, you will see that. Then of course we did something on chart. So here is talking about chart. Remember we started with chart. So I said if you have this table, this simple table, this is a wildlife distribution. So we're looking at this wildlife distribution. By January, we got 8 bears, 150 dolphins, and 80 whales. Then by February, the number of bears increased to 54. This one rather reduced, and this one reduced. What causes that? By March, this increases further, while these two, this one reduces, but this one surprisingly increased. Then this one increases further, this one drops more, and this one reduce a little from what we had in March. Then another one in May, this increases again, and this one drops further, and this one just increases slightly. Then in June, this increases, this one drops to the minimum, while this increases slightly. So you can see from here that there's an upward progression for the bears. You can see that. Are you seeing that?
I'm seeing.
But this one is reducing, and this one is just up and down. So now, this is wildlife distribution. So we want to see a graph of this. So what do we do? To create a chart, are you saying that? 2, 1, select cell A1 to D7. Select from A1 to D7. Then click on insert menu. You click on insert menu and go to the chart section. This is a chart section. You can choose any chart that you want. For example, this one is so you see different charts with different names. So I was talking about using something like a 2D chart. So a 2D chart column, then you now pick any one that you want there. Let me see what I said. 2D stack line with marker. So we can pick any one. So I have here clustered, I have stack column, then I have stack. So you can choose any one that you want here for what you want to do. So if I click on that, you can see that the chart is created. So the chart now, you see how it's appearing. That's how I got all this. That was how I got this and this. So you can use different chart type. So what is it telling us here? It's telling us that in January, so you can see the bear, you can see the color for the bear indicators for dolphins and for whales. So the bear population was small in January, but it started going up and up and up, while dolphin that was small started dropping down. So I love to use this this chart format because it really shows you plot a graph to show you the progression. So let's use that in what we want to do. So I'm going to delete this one off. I'm going to take this one out. So I'll just come and click here and tell it to okay, let's cut this away from here. So I'll type delete. So I'll go back here, click here, then I'll go back to insert, then I'll go to the line. So let's see this. You can see it. Have you seen it? You can either pick bubble, that's bubble, that's scattered. This is scattered with smooth line. So if I pick that, this is what I'm going to have. So you can see this is a visualization that we're talking about. So instead of me trying to look at the values to know what is going on there, I can see the progression. So I can say, oh, the BA population is increasing, but the dolphin population has been dropping, to the lowest, while this one comes up. So with this, I can now try to find out why is this so. Why is this so? That is where the data analytics comes to. Why is this so? Is it like the BA? Is it only the 3 wildlife that we have? What is making the BA population to drop? So when you do your research, you now discover that possibly there could be cases of maybe the what do you call it? Maybe poaching, or it could be that the BAs are the one taking out the dolphin population. You understand what I mean?
Yeah, predation.
So in that case, the prey and the predator. So you now begin to wonder, okay, what can we do to increase this? Or it could also be something like pollution. It could also be something like the environment is not friendly and all that. So in order not to wipe off the whole dolphin population, then you now start taking drastic action to keep that going on. So within this short time, I've been able to talk about count A, if function, if error, find search, left search, rank, VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP. So I've talked about charts too. So we're going to stop there for now so that the recording will not be too large. If it's within a size, I can send to you. So when we meet again, we'll continue with conditional formatting, and we'll look at descriptive statistics. We'll be getting gradually to the analysis now, data analytics. We'll look at frequency distribution, then we'll look at regressional data analysis. We'll look at AI. We'll talk about artificial intelligence, flash file, and so you see where we'll start making predictions. Then we'll also look at Power Query. So those are the things we will do the next time we meet. So thank you for coming. So we'll stop here for today. If the video is within a size that I can send to, the maximum size for WhatsApp I think is about 30 megabytes. If it's not too large, I can send it. I will save it and send to you. If not, I will still share the link with you and take it online. Okay, good night.
Okay.
Bye.
Good night, sir. I appreciate it.
Thank you.